I've been working the night shift at this gas station for a while now. I dropped out of school a couple of years ago, and this was the best job I could find. The hours are long and it gets lonely, but it's steady work, and right now I need the money. Most nights are routine. I start by stocking the shelves, making sure the coolers are filled with drinks, and organizing the racks with chips and snacks. The store is usually quiet, allowing me to get these tasks done. After that, I sweep the floors, wipe down the counters, and clean up whatever mess the daytime customers left behind. It's monotonous, but it's work. On this particular night, I was working with a coworker, one of those rare overlaps in our shifts. We exchanged a few words, but mostly, we kept to our own tasks. He manned the register while I took care of the cleaning. It was a welcome change to have someone else around, even if it was just for a brief period. Around midnight, a man walked in who clearly didn't belong. He was ragged, with dirty clothes and matted hair. My coworker and I exchanged uneasy glances as he wandered aimlessly through the store. I was near the cooler, restocking drinks, when he walked past me. His odor was overpowering, a mix of sweat and something more foul, like rotting food. He kept both hands buried deep in his jacket pockets, as if concealing something. His presence was unsettling, but I tried to focus on my task, doing my best to ignore the strange feeling creeping over me. He headed straight for the bathroom, without a word. My coworker raised an eyebrow, but I just nodded, signaling it was fine. We waited, expecting him to be quick, but he lingered for a long time. When he finally emerged, his eyes locked onto mine in a way that sent a chill down my spine. He had an evil grin on his face, almost like he was holding back a laugh, and then he walked out, leaving a heavy silence in his wake. I tried to shake off the feeling, telling myself it was nothing, and went back to restocking the beers. As my shift was nearing its end, I needed to do a final cleaning of the bathroom. I always save the bathroom for last. It's by far the worst part of this job. The bathroom is a disaster. Piss on the floor, shit smeared on the toilet seat. It's enough to make anyone lose faith in humanity. I hate going in there, but I need this job, so I push through. Gathering my mop, bucket, and cleaning supplies, I prepared myself for the stench and opened the door. The automatic light system didn't kick on, which gave the bathroom that eerie feeling. Since I guessed the guy accidentally switched off the main switch on the wall, I reached my hand over to feel for the toggle. I flipped it on, and to my horror, I saw the sink. Running down the sides of the sink were droplets of watery blood, as if someone had been washing their blood-stained hands. I immediately knew it must have been from that man with the jacket. My heart began to race. I looked around the room for anything else that might be concerning. There wasn't anything that stood out, but as I started to turn to go back to the cashier to tell my coworker, something in the trash can caught my eye. There were blood-stained paper towels that looked placed on top of something. My hands trembled as I used my mop handle to push the towels aside to reveal a bloodied knife. Panic set in. I stumbled out of the bathroom and told my coworker what I'd found. We both agreed to call the police. I reported the discovery, and a cop arrived shortly after, taking the knife and asking to review the security footage. We watched as the homeless-looking man walked in and headed straight for the bathroom. There was one other person who used the bathroom that night, but he seemed completely normal. The officer said he'd check around the building and might need to bring in investigators. He instructed me to close off the bathroom to prevent anyone else from entering. I grabbed some tape and started sealing the bathroom door, my hands unsteady. As I was taping it shut, more police cars began arriving, their lights flashing and radios crackling. The officers converged on the dumpster behind the gas station, my gut twisted with dread. A few minutes later, one of them came inside and delivered the grim news. A body had been found hidden behind the dumpster. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. The man who had been in and out of the store wasn't just a random drifter. He had left a body behind. The detectives questioned me about the knife and whether I'd touched it. I recounted everything I knew as they took pictures and collected evidence. The horror of that night lingered long after the police left. I continued working at the gas station for a couple of months, but I couldn't shake the feeling of dread. Each night, I felt the weight of what had happened pressing down on me. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I quit and moved to a different town. The memory of that night still haunts me, and I often wonder what might have happened if I hadn't found that knife. I'm just grateful I'm still here.